Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's forum for the Pueblo County Commissioner District 2 seat. My name is Steve Henson. I'm the managing editor at the Pueblo Chieftain, one of the sponsors of the event this evening, in conjunction with Pueblo Community College's Center for New Media. I'd like to go over the rules very quickly. Those of you who were here earlier, this will be redundant. I apologize for that. But each candidate will have 4 minutes to introduce themselves, tell you why they're running for office. Then we'll have a question and answer session. The questions have been prepared by the chieftain. We don't allow questions from the audience, and we had a couple of really bad experiences with that years ago, and you can imagine that. I mean, politics being what they are, that it's an opportunity to ambush a candidate. So this really isn't a debate as so much, although the previous one certainly was. This is more of a forum, and at least that's what it's designed to be. No, it was a great get-together. I think we learned a lot from it. And so then after we go through the question and answer session, there will be a brief rebuttal if somebody else has further remarks on the same topic. And we'll move through that process till we run out of time, and then we will have closing remarks from each candidate. And so Buffy won the coin toss. She elected to close the forum this evening, so we'll have opening remarks from John Cordova. John?
Thank you very much. I'm happy to have the opportunity to join my fellow Democrats this evening to share with our constituents those issues most important to them and to speak to our qualifications for our respective offices. I also wish to thank the Pueblo Chieftain and the Pueblo Community College for sponsoring the forum and hosting us tonight. The key points I would like to make regarding my candidacy focus on 4 essential areas: my experience, my qualifications, management style, and accountability. In October, I will have served you 5 years as your District 2 Commissioner. There will be no learning curve or transitional period, as I am currently in the position. I am up to speed on past, current, and future projects or programs the county is working on or about to undertake. This includes building construction, road and bridge construction, or rehabilitation, the Southern Delivery System, reconstruction of McCulloch Boulevard in Pueblo West, and of course, continuing greening of our county. This is important because I know where we are in the development of projects, and from a budgetary standpoint, I am better equipped to monitor the management of these activities because I have been involved in the development of these projects. I am your representative on the CDOT Strategic Transportation Advisory Committee, the Pueblo Economic Development Corporation, the Board of Directors of the City and County Health Department, the Pueblo Latino Chamber of Commerce, and several other agency boards. Qualifications: I earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering Technology from our own university. I have worked in construction. I have been a project engineer on transportation projects for 2 states, a project engineer in the remediation of hazardous material and waste while employed with the Colorado Department of Health and Environment, and a physical plant manager for the Colorado Department of Human Services. While employed in these positions, I have oversight on the budgets, staff supervision, and developed a close relationship with various cities and county departments. Management: my experience working as county commissioner and overseeing project development has allowed me to work closely with a number of departments and agencies. Thus, I have developed a strong working relationship with county staff at all levels, whether this be our Department of Social Services, the Department of Human Services, or our Engineering and Road and Bridge Department, of which I might add, I was the head of 20+ years ago. Accountability: I continue to press the issue of a balanced budget and keeping projects within budget. One promise I made to you on my last election was that I would do the research, ask questions, and become thoroughly informed on issues before making my decision. Recent controversial decisions have demonstrated that I have kept my word on that promise. This is not to say that I'm not concerned with creating more jobs that a project may create, but rather, let's not allow adverse conditions to force us to make poor decisions. In fact, this is about making good decisions that benefit Pueblo County and all its citizens. Finally, I have been in Pueblo for 29 years. I consider Pueblo my home. I am totally committed to working on behalf of my community. That is why you will find me in the trenches, literally. This past Friday, I walked the entire site of the new judicial building, to include getting down in the elevator shaft pits. I am another set of eyes very familiar with technical aspects of construction. I am also accessible and believe in open and transparent government and listening to you, the citizens of Pueblo County. Thank you.
Okay, we'll now have opening remarks from Buffy McFadden. Buffy?
Thank you, Mr. Henson, for being here and hosting us at the Pueblo Chieftain, also the 2020 Commission, and I believe the women from the League of Voters who always time us. No, 2020 Commission, I'm getting the yes on. Okay, 2020 Commission, and of course, Pueblo Community College. I also want to thank my opponent, Mr. Cordova, for being here tonight to afford me the opportunity to debate. And I want to thank the current county commissioners and other elected officials, whether you be on a metro board, on city council, or in office, because no matter who you are, being in office often is not easy. So I want to personally thank you from me to you as those that serve in office. When I finished in the legislature, I served 8 years, and I served both Pueblo and Fremont counties. And I went into the legislature in the minority, and it was pretty tough. But you learn how to get things done when you serve in the minority. You learn you don't always have the easiest path to finish a job. So when we took over the majority, I wanted to make sure we got our due back to our community, back to Southern Colorado. I took the job very seriously and ended up being not only a chairman of 2 committees, but also the Speaker Pro Tem out of the House of Representatives. Took a little stress. But in those years, I've learned that it's not just the campaigning that needs to be done, but it's the actual job of following through on the public policy on behalf of your citizens. Today in Pueblo County, I feel like there's a disconnect. People are not very trusting of government. And that's not just locally, that's at the national level and at the state level. I want to make sure we have transparency in our government. I want to make sure when we make a decision at the county level that we thoroughly explain it to the public so we can get the public's buy-in. Right now we have a project that's going on that I'd say 50% of the people are for and 50% of the people are against. We need to work together if we're going to do these kind of projects to make sure we have buy-in from the community and communicate. Balancing the county's budget is the #1 job of a county commissioner. Bar none, that's the job they're elected to do. I would like to help make sure we have a balanced budget. I also believe that in our community, we cannot depend on other areas of the country nor the federal government to ensure that our economy comes back. We need to ensure our economy comes back. And that means ensuring that the businesses that are in business in Pueblo County today stay in business into the future. That is very important. We do need to bring new quality jobs to Pueblo, but we first need to make sure we keep the jobs we already have. And it was tough to decide to run for county commissioner. After I finished in the legislature, I didn't know if I wanted to run for the state senate. My son was in middle school, and those of you who are parents or grandparents know that can be a trying time. And I'm happy to say he is out of middle school as of this last month. And I decided not to run for the state senate. I'm employed, so I don't need to get another job necessarily. I desire this job, and what finally helped make the decision was the SDS. People in Pueblo West, Colorado have another governmental entity going through their property. And I believe they haven't been given their just due for their property rights. If your property rights are going to be impeded in our county by another governmental agency, I want to be there to make sure to be your advocate so no one can do that to you. Also, we are at a transition in Pueblo. We have returning veterans. Not only do we have to get our current workforce back to work, we need to assist veterans as they transition into civilian life. My name is Buffy McFadden, and I would be honored to earn your vote for Pueblo County Commissioner.
Okay, we'll now begin the question and answer portion, and we'll continue in the order that we've been going. So, John, you'll handle the first one. Okay. How can the county make sure that Colorado Springs adheres to the terms of the county's 1041 permit for the Southern Delivery System?
closely monitoring what they do, and which we have been doing, as was evident by this morning's chieftain. You know, Pueblo County was successful in getting $15 million more for the haul roads out in Pueblo West. They are also been called to task to maintain those roads while they are hauling them. That is part of their contract. So by monitoring, make sure that they follow the stipulations in that contract, I think we will hold them accountable.
Okay. Buffy?
Thank you. I will start off with, I'm very concerned about what's happening. I said that in the opening remarks, but I'm even more concerned today after listening to the mayor of Colorado Springs talk about their stormwater control. I don't trust that Colorado Springs will follow through on their agreement with Pueblo County. And secondly, I believe they've already broken it, because the people who live in Pueblo West, who have had their property taken as right-of-way for the large pipe, did try to hire people to protect their rights. And according to the 1041s, they were not supposed to expend any of their own money defending their own property. We are supposed to start receiving payments in the future from Colorado Springs. I will tell you, being state representative in North Pueblo County, I'm very concerned for the landowners who live on that fountain. Some will call stormwater fee, even some in Pueblo, a rain tax, and that's what Doug Bruce called it. It's not a rain tax. I call it the stop stealing my property tax. The people on the fountain in wet years lose several feet of their property every year due to erosion. The Army Corps of Engineers has told those landowners they cannot put clean fill into the fountain to protect their property. They say that would be diverting the flow. Well, I believe they are impeding the landowners in keeping their own property safe by not managing their stormwater. And we shouldn't have to pay for their problems here in Pueblo County. I think we need to actually start examining that 1041 and start asking the tougher questions. The mayor of Colorado Springs said they might have some extra money to pay for more stormwater, but they refused to bond for more stormwater. They refused to raise their taxes to be accountable for their own stormwater as they continue to grow. And I say it's got to stop.
John?
Thank you. I agree with many of those comments that Buffy McFadden said. We will hold Colorado Springs accountable for the fact that they haven't reinstated their stormwater enterprise. We did send a very stern letter. The Board of County Commissioners sent us a very stern letter to Colorado Springs, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, voicing our very, very strong desire that they reinstate this program or find some other ways, some other means of paying for the the stormwater development, so that they do not send those huge amounts of stormwater down the fountain and cause the problems that it can cause.
Buffy, any other remarks?
The only other remark, I remember at an open meeting with Colorado Springs Utilities in Pueblo West in 2008, I was running for re-election, and I got in an argument with the executive director of Colorado Springs Utilities, and I asked him what they were going to do when they lost their stormwater fee. I didn't get an answer. And at that time, I believe they had $46 million worth of backlog projects in their system at Colorado Springs Utilities. I'm sure it's higher than that today.
Okay, the next question, Buffy, you'll answer it first. Construction of the new $50 million judicial building on 4th Street is underway. We all know that. Do you consider that a wise decision or a mistake that taxpayers can't afford right now?
It's a great question, and I think this community's been debating that question back and forth. And it's a lot easier to armchair quarterback a question if you're not the one having to vote on it. And I'm in that position. I didn't have to make the vote.